Hey, what's up everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so I almost didn't do this video. I'm so far beyond the Lakers season that we're in right now that I've forgotten that there's still games to play. But there is a game tonight in the lovely city of San Francisco, my mom's hometown, at the Chase Center. Of course against the Warriors. And no Steph Curry tonight, but you can expect to see the other Splash brother, Klay Thompson, who's still trying to work his way back into shape. Draymond Green as well, who's back from injury, who I'd expect to see tonight unless they decide to sit him. I couldn't really find any injury reports on this game for some reason. I do know the big news is that our big three will not be out there. I was told, I guess you could say, that LeBron James is being shut down for the rest of the season. It's only like 4 games left. I don't know if that's official news, but it makes sense if they do. I don't think we should see anybody from that big three anymore this year. It's just time to play young players and so on and so forth. You've heard me say it a million times. Tonight, what I expect to see from this particular game is that young players getting some minutes. You know, we waived Trevor Ariza, as I made the video for just a minute ago. So that means we've opened up a roster spot. Maybe they call someone up. I don't know if that's already been done or not, but no news came out. So I hope the Lakers just continue to stay healthy. Run Wenyen, Gabriel, and Stanley Johnson, and let Austin Reeves go and have as many minutes as possible. THT, depending with THT, because he's also a valuable piece that you don't want to have get hurt. But since he's a young player, I think it doesn't hurt us to continue to value the time that he can be developed out there, even though he's on that funny contract. At the end of the day, if you're absolutely not certain you are trading him, then it is still within our best interest to develop him and play him. And even if we are trading him now, I think about it, you want to put him on display and get as much good basketball out of him as possible over these last couple games. So I think he should be healed up. I haven't heard anything about that that injury that he was dealing with. If he's good to go, I think he should be played. So that's what it is, man. I'm sorry that Carmelo Anthony is in this situation, but a part of me wonders that, you know, he's the reason why he's still here is because he's concerned he probably won't get another job anywhere else. But I think he's played his stock up between here and Portland enough to at least be able to sign with a Bucks or sign with a Philly or somebody like that. I can't imagine that he doesn't have any value come playoff time. I know his defensive woes have been very detailed, but I mean, come on, just for depth's sake, a team like Phoenix should want to pick up Carmelo Anthony. Even if he's the worst guy on your bench, you still have somebody you can bring in that you know can hit a bucket and do it consistently. And if you put him on a team with enough defensive players to make up for what it is that he doesn't do defensively, what you have is a guy who can rebound extremely well right now. He's an excellent rebounder and somebody who can hit a shot. He's not very consistent these days, but when he gets hot, he can get hot, and he's good for a good 17 points nowadays. So, you know, I've been lobbying for the Lakers to let him go, but if he doesn't want to go, then there's no reason to force the issue, I'd imagine, being that he's LeBron's friend and we are playing politic ball. So, but I just think it's in his best interest to look for a championship opportunity. You don't have many seasons left. This might be the last one. So I would be on the first thing smoking to a playoff team, personally. But we'll see what he does. Dwight Howard, pretty much the same thing, honestly. Are we bringing Dwight back next year? I don't know. You know, I think the vision for this team is uncertain. If a guy like Dwight has a whole lot left to give us, we were leaning on him so much this year in terms of need, but the coach never played him, so we didn't get the most out of him. But when we did, we saw good things. So he's active tonight, as far as I can tell, and I would imagine coach is going to give him some minutes because it's just not a whole lot of bodies to throw out there as of right now, given that we're sitting people and waiving people. So I don't know what the coach is going to do out there tonight, but I will be keeping an eye open for certain players like Malik Monk, who's really been in a slump over the last couple of games, I'd say, for his standards, turning the ball over more and hitting shots less. So I don't know if he's just hit some sort of a wall or if just the team, you know, overall not playing well around him has affected him to the point where he's not playing well as well. I'd imagine it's been a lot of distractions. He's also been dealing with some knick-knack injuries throughout the season, so I'm just looking for him to bounce back tonight. I think he'll have an opportunity to continue to display himself as a valuable piece out there in free agency this season. I'm hopeful that we can bring him back, but I doubt it. So, you know, if anything, we're just going to enjoy Malik Monk in a Laker uniform over these last couple games. And, you know, that's really all it is. It's not a whole, obviously we're not playing for anything. It's not a whole lot to play for. And we're not going to have a whole lot of bodies out there. So I'm very, very curious to see what's the next move after waiving Trev. The next move should be to call up someone. And there's a lot of guys that are capable. So that's going to be a very important thing. Who are the guys the Lakers are looking at to call up and bring in and fill out the rest of this roster for the rest of the season? So another question I have is, you know, is it safe to say that they're shutting down the big three? And if so, or is that something they see necessary to tell us? Or is that something they're you're gonna look up and they're not gonna be on the game scorecard? So it's one of those situations where you wonder what the plan is. So from the Warriors, what I expect to see, Jordan Poole, man. Jordan Poole. That dude's game has been absolutely and utterly refined this season. He's turning into what I think is someone who's going to be very, very, very active in this league in terms of scoring the basketball, shooting the basketball. You can clearly see that his handle is special. He's slick, fast, you know, athletic. He has all-star upside. I'm telling you, there's no question about that at this point. He's going to have to work some other things into his game, but he's well on his way in terms of his development. I think the Golden State Warriors should pat themselves on the back for how well they are developing their young talent while still maintaining their core, their legendary core, and that's why they're a contender right now, because they're finding pieces elsewhere in the development. So, got to look at the Warriors and expect that they're going to beat the Lakers tonight. But at the same time, these are the type of games where when you know you don't have nothing to play for, a lot of times guys like Austin Reeves or Stanley Johnson or somebody like that will have a bigger game just because this is their time to shine. You know, this is their team more or less right now. It's not going to be any stars out there. It's not going to be anyone to defer to. So chances are it's just going to be a lot of team basketball amongst those young fellas. And if they're engaged and see this is the opportunity that I see, I'd expect them to play well. I don't expect this to be a blowout at all. Now, obviously, they could be blown out. But I think the players that, and I'm going to say this, and I just want to keep it real. I think the players that ultimately leave us getting blown out are a lot of the players that we shouldn't have been playing. Guys who lose interest as the game starts to become more real in terms of once it becomes more clear that they can't win, they start slouching their shoulders and so on and so forth. I don't see that from our young players. A guy like Austin Reeves plays the same way no matter what the score is. And it seems like he plays even better as the game gets closer and gets into more pressured moments. So that right there, if we get more of him, I'd expect more effort. Just in general, more effort. Same thing with Wenyen Gabriel. We know how hard he plays. Stanley plays hard. So the Warriors are not going to have an easy night, regardless of what the score is, because we're going to have players on the floor that do things that help the team. You know, which is something that we don't often get. Cut and dry. Should be better defense out there. Should be more activity out there. Should be faster feet out there. I'd expect to see a more fun basketball game to see. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't say that. It's obviously LeBron James is very, very entertaining. But I just feel like it's an energy game. It's an effort game. It should be a good pace. You know, a lot of three-point shots are going to go up. Klay Thompson's going to be letting them off, and I don't expect to win. But I don't expect to get blown out because I do expect that the players on the floor that give us the best chance to rebound, get 50-50 balls, get to the line, that kind of stuff, those guys are going to be on the floor. So that's what I'm hopeful to see, just a decent basketball game. Jonathan Kuminga is somebody you want to pay attention to. He's going to offset a lot of what we bring to the table with those guys because he does a lot of that stuff himself, and he gets very, 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 very easy buckets because he's absolutely and utterly explosive and extremely fast. So he's a supreme athlete, and the Golden State Warriors got them another one. As he continues to develop, you'll see what he does. If he stays healthy, I think he's going to be an all-star someday too. He's gonna score too easy. I'm telling you, it's easy buckets. And a dude like Moody, Moses Moody, who I think is going to be really, really good on both sides of the floor as well. and it's just kind of surfing around in their rotation as a player who can, at any moment, completely and utterly overachieve. It's a lottery pick, and he just happened to fall in their hands. So this could be a night where he shows some pop as well. I'd expect that. Bjelica, keep an eye on Bjelica because he came off a really big game for his standards, to be completely honest with you. He had a double-double with 6 assists. So if he continues to you know, scoring and rebounding the way that he's been doing, he could be a thorn in our side tonight. So Draymond Green will be out there. We know what that means. Assists for him. Andrew Wiggins will be out there. We know what that means. He's going to be hitting that corner 3-point shot and getting to the basket and buckets and all of that. At the end of the day, this is one of the deepest teams in basketball. They have been sliding lately. Their defense has been a little suspect lately. Their rotation has been a little off because of players going in and out of the lineup for various reasons. But at the end of the day, we're in their house. They are the Warriors. And Klay Thompson and Draymond Green will be on the floor. So we'll put up a good effort, I think, but we should still lose by double digits. I just don't expect it to be a blowout. I expect to be demoralized. I don't expect guys to slouch because they're not winning. We don't expect to win. Just expect to play well. And I think the people will be on the floor and be excited to be on it. And that's a very good thing. So that's what I'm hoping to see. Then again, this is Frank Vogel, so he may lean on Avery Bradley and Carmelo Anthony a lot tonight just because that's how he is. But given the fact that we're out of playoff contention, what's the point of him leaning on people he can trust? For what? Let's play the kids. So that's what I hope he'll do, man. And if he does it, we'll see a good game. I do believe that. So that's what it is, man. Laker Nation, don't fret. We've already begun to wave people. We've already begun to talk about how we can send Westbrook to the Hornets, or, you know what I mean? And that conversation is really, really prevalent right now. I hope it being so public doesn't make Mitch realize that this is a horrible decision. But then again, if they have plans for his contract, then it's fine. You know, some teams would take him on just to let it expire and keep the $47 million for a player they may have their eyes on next summer. So, or something of that nature. That you can do a lot of things when a player's expiring. So it's expensive, but some teams don't care. They got $40 million worth of cap space just laying around. Probably want to get rid of something. Maybe they'll be willing to do this for us. So that's where my head is as a fan. I'm not really considering the games, as you guys know. I'm considering the news around the team, and I'm hopeful that we will continue to see more changes. So that's what I got, man. BDF 44. Of course, I'll come to you guys after the game, tell you what I saw, keep this thing alive, and yeah, BDF 44 once again. Thanks. Peace.